أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولما and when فصلت it departed. What departed? العير, the caravan. When the caravan departed, meaning when the caravan departed from Egypt towards Canaan, قال, he said. Who said? أبوهم, their father. Their father who was in Canaan, he said to the rest of his children or his grandchildren who were there, he said, Inni, indeed I, la ajidu, surely I find, I feel, I sense, riha Yusuf, the fragrance of Yusuf. I can sense it. Rih is from the root letters ra, wa, ha, and you know that rih means wind. But rih is also used for smell. It is also used for fragrance. So I can smell the fragrance of Yusuf. Lawla, even if antufannidun, you think me weak in mind. Even if you think I've gone crazy, I say that I can smell Yusuf. Because every person has a unique smell, isn't it? Every person has a unique fragrance. And you can tell, if you cannot see them, if you just smell their hands, you can tell who that person is, right? If you smell somebody's clothes, you can tell who it belongs to, just by the fragrance. Even little children, even they develop a particular fragrance. So he said, I can smell the fragrance of Yusuf, even if you say that I've gone crazy. I'm telling you, I can smell it. Tufannidun is from the root letters fa, noon, dal, fanada, which is used for weakness of aql due to old age. Weakness of the mind due to old age. And literally, fanadun is a mountaintop, the pinnacle, the peak of the mountain. And when a person reaches the height, meaning he has become very old, then what happens? What happens? His strength, it becomes weak. His mental ability, even that becomes weak. So even if you think me weak in mind, even if you think me confused, even if you think that I have become foolish, I have gone crazy because of my old age, even then I say that I can smell him. Because sometimes what happens, when people become old, they say some things, right, which other people find strange, very strange. That how could you say that? And what explanation do you give? They're old. Doesn't matter. No problem, they're old. So Yaqub a.s., he said that he could smell the fragrance of Yusuf a.s. Now how is that possible? It is said that when the caravan departed from Egypt, a wind began to blow in the direction of Canaan from Egypt, and it brought the scent of Yusuf a.s.'s shirt to Yaqub a.s. And this happened with the permission of Allah. However, Allah knows. But remember that when a person has yaqeen in something, when a person is certain about something, then what happens? He can smell it, right? Like that Sahabi, that companion, right before the battle, what did he say? I can smell paradise. Why? Because he was so certain about it. Similarly, Yaqub a.s. at this point was so certain. He was so sure that he was going to see Yusuf, that this was going to be the end of the long separation. It was as though he could smell him. And this was by the help of Allah. This was a gift of Allah to him. That relief comes. Relief comes to a person. Qalu, they said, like for example, if you're very hungry and you're thinking about food, you can sometimes smell it, isn't it? And you wonder, is it just me or is it really there? So qalu, they said, Tallahi, by Allah, innaka, indeed you, lafi, surely in dalalika al-qadim, you are in your same old error. What same old error? That Yusuf is still alive. That Yusuf is still out there somewhere today. That you're going to find Yusuf. You're going to see him someday. You're still in that same old error of yours. According to others, dalal over here gives the meaning of love, excessive adoration. That you're still excessively in love with your son. Despite the fact that there have been so many years that have passed by, and you haven't seen him, you haven't heard him, you're still in that error of yours. Yes, it's possible that not all of them went, all of the sons had gone, and it's also possible that if the sons had gone, perhaps the grandchildren were there, or perhaps other family members were there, right? Because they could not have possibly left, their old father alone. There must have been some family behind. So those family members said to him that you're still in that old era of yours hoping to see Yusuf in your excessive adoration of him. You're mentioning him too much. You're remembering him too much. And dalal is also understood as junoon, madness. That you've gone mad. And that same madness, that same craziness that you had back then, you still have it today. And because of this junoon of yours, you can smell him. He said, لَوْلَا تُفَنِّدُونَ. Even if you say, I've gone crazy. Now just imagine, Yaqub alayhi salam, first of all, he's an old man. Secondly, he's very sad. And then he's gone blind as well. And then on top of all of that, he's a prophet of Allah. But look at how his family is treating him. Look at how his family is treating him. There seems to be no respect. And this is sometimes very unfortunate that in the most righteous families as well, there are people who are very disrespectful, who have no sense of adab, no sense of akhlaq, no sense of respecting the elderly, no sense of respecting those who are higher than them. فَلَمَّا, then when, on that, جَاءَ, he came. Who came? Al-Bashir, the bearer of good news. Who was the bearer of good news? The one who brought the shirt of Yusuf alayhi salam. And it is said that it was his son Yehuda who had brought the shirt. Alqahu, he cast the shirt, ala wajhihi, upon his face. Upon the face of who? His father. فَارْتَدَّ, so he returned, basiran, seeing. He could see again. Qala, he said, Yaqub alayhi salam now spoke, Alam aqul, did I not say, lakum, to you, that inni a'lamu min Allahi ma la ta'lamun, that I know from Allah what you don't know? Did I not say that to you? And you never believed in me? I told you I was going to see Yusuf. I told you Yusuf was there, but you would not believe in me. Did I not tell you that I know from Allah what you don't know? So some say that the bearer of good news was Yehuda, and according to others, it was the eldest son. And why is it that he brought this shirt? Because he is the one who brought the shirt stained with blood. He is the one who brought the shirt stained with blood to his father. Which shirt? The shirt of Yusuf alayhi salam. And now he was bringing another shirt of Yusuf alayhi salam that became a means of the return of his vision. So he wanted to erase that error with his good act. What does this show to us? That if you've done something bad, do something good to erase that. And do something good of the same effect, of that same rank, of that same value. Like for example, a musician, Yusuf Islam. He was a singer before, he was a musician before. So when he became Muslim, the scholars advised him that you now sing good nasheed that are going to help people increase in their iman and learn their knowledge. So when you've done something wrong, replace it with something good, but which is of the same effect, so that it can completely erase the effect of the wrong that you did previously. So now what happened? قالوا, they said, Ya abana, O our father, istaghfir lana dhunubana, seek forgiveness for us, for our sins. Seek Allah's forgiveness for our sins. Inna kunna khati'een. Indeed, we have been ones who sin. We have been sinners. We have been at fault. We have been in error. We have committed many mistakes. So what do we see over here? Again, the greatness of the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam. That firstly, they confessed before Yusuf alayhi salam. Now they confessed before their father. First, they apologized in front of who? Their brother. Now they do the same in front of their father. And remember the conditions of tawbah, the conditions of repentance. One of them is that a person must acknowledge his mistake. A person must realize his mistake. And then a person must leave it. And if a person has wronged the other, then he should also seek forgiveness from him. This is a part of tawbah. So we see that the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, they feel bad, they seek forgiveness, and they also request their father that he should seek forgiveness from Allah for them. So what do we see over here? That the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, they're requesting their father to seek forgiveness on their behalf. According to some scholars, it is permissible to ask others to pray for you, because we see examples of that in the Quran. We see examples of that in some incidents of the Sahaba as well. But according to others, it's not that encouraged, because you should pray yourself, and you should not burden others, telling them again and again, pray for me, pray for me, pray for me. Because sometimes people don't pray for themselves, and what do? They just ask other people all the time in every email, in every meeting they say, remember me in your du'as, remember me in your du'as. The fact is that if a person has really done something, then he doesn't need to say, remember me in your du'as. The other person will remember him automatically. But some scholars say that because the brothers of Yusuf a.s., they are requesting their father, please seek forgiveness for us, this shows that a person may ask another to make dua. But according to others, it is not permissible. It is not something that is liked. Qala, he said. Who said? Yaqub a.s., he said to his children, that سَوْفَ أَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ رَبِّي, soon I will seek forgiveness for you from my Lord. Soon I will seek forgiveness from Allah for you. Why does he say سَوْفَ? Why didn't he seek forgiveness for them immediately? Think about it. He could have just got up right there, raised his hands up, and prayed for their forgiveness. If a person has done something wrong, then yes, he needs to seek forgiveness from Allah, but he also needs to seek forgiveness from who? From the person whom he has wronged. Yaqub a.s., he had not yet met Yusuf a.s. So he wanted to go himself, meet Yusuf, and know that he has forgiven them, and then he was going to seek forgiveness for them. Also, he wanted to make dua at a time when the chances of acceptance are higher, which according to some was before dawn. He wanted to wait until that time, and according to others, until the evening of Friday. And also remember that he was now going to go from Canaan to Egypt. So he was going to travel, right? So سَوْفَ أَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ رَبِّي, yes, I will seek forgiveness for you from my Lord. إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. He doesn't threaten them. Allahu A'lam what's going to happen to you. Maybe Allah will forgive you or not. Allah knows. He says, He gives them hope. He's a prophet of Allah. He says Allah is forgiving and He's also merciful. And then they departed for Egypt. It is said that when Yusuf a.s. learned that his father was on his way and he was near, he didn't stay inside Egypt. He left Egypt, he went outside, and he went to meet his father outside of Egypt. So فَلَمَّا, then when دَخَلُوا عَلَى يُوسُفَ, when they entered upon Yusuf a.s., who? The father, the brothers, and their families, everyone, what did he do? آوَى إِلَيْهِ, he brought close to himself, أَبَوَيْهِ, his two parents. Two parents meaning the father and the mother. And remember the meaning of آوَى إِلَيْهِ? It means to bring someone close to yourself, meaning to hug someone. So he hugged them. آوَى إِلَيْهِ أَبَوَيْهِ. Unfortunately, some people think that when you're older, hugging your parents is embarrassing. Hugging your parents is not something nice. Only children do that. But we see that Yusuf a.s., he is hugging his parents. آوَى إِلَيْهِ أَبَوَيْهِ. He welcomed them outside the city. And it is also said that آوَى إِلَيْهِ أَبَوَيْهِ, that he made them lodge near himself. وَقَالَ, and he said, أُدْخُلُوا مِصْرَ, enter Egypt, insha'Allah, if Allah wills, آمِنِينَ, as one secure. He said, welcome, if Allah wills, enter Egypt as those who are secure. Those who are safe and secure in Egypt. What does this show? When he said, أُدْخُلُوا مِصْرَ, this shows to us that he had gone outside of the city in order to meet them. He had gone outside of Egypt in order to meet them. Because he wanted to enter Egypt along with them. So he says, أُدْخُلُوا مِصْرَ إِنشَاءَ آمِنِينَ. Welcome. Now be residents of Egypt. Now remember, Yusuf a.s., he had a very high position. And he also had authority as well as a lot of honor. And he did not have honor only because of his high status, but also because he benefited the people. Also because he benefited the people. So this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed the love of Yusuf alayhi salam in the hearts of people as well as in the hearts of who? His family members. And because of this, the people, they did not just like Yusuf alayhi salam, but they also respected who? His family. Because Yusuf alayhi salam had such a high position, because of his good akhlaq, because of his generosity, imagine the people of Egypt, the locals, they respected him. Not just him, but also his family. So it is said that when Yusuf alayhi salam, he went to meet his father outside of Egypt, it's not that he alone went. Even the rest of the people, some other people from Egypt, they went along with him. Because Yusuf alayhi salam was like a hero for them. He was a leader. He was someone with great status. When his family was coming, they were overjoyed. The people of Egypt were overjoyed. And so he says, Aminin, once feeling secure, once being secure in Egypt, no one is going to harm you. Why? Because of the status of Yusuf alayhi salam. You know, like, for example, the royal family of England, somebody is getting married, but the whole world is following them. The entire world. I mean, their websites and their pictures and Allahu A'lam, what all preparation going on from before. Why? Because of the honor that they have. And that honor is extended to who? Just the royal family? No. Even their spouses, even their families. So just imagine if Yusuf alayhi salam had such a high position in that country, it wasn't just that he was respected, the rest of the people also respected them. So we see over here that after many years of sorrow and grief, after many years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He unites Yaqub alayhi salam with his son. He unites them. So what do we learn from this? That if a person is going through some difficulty, that difficulty is going to stay with him until the fixed time. It cannot go away before the fixed time. So what do we have to do? Bear it. Have some sabr. So bear the difficulty of today in order to get the happiness of tomorrow. إِنَّهُ مَن يَتَّقِي وَيَصْبِرْ. He is also patient. He does not give up. He tolerates. He bears the difficulty. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah does not waste the reward of those people who do ihsan. وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ. And he raised his parents. Upon what? عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. Upon the throne. His two parents, meaning the mother as well as the father. According to some, the mother of Yusuf alayhi salam, the actual mother, had passed away. She had passed away at this point. According to some, she had passed away when she was giving birth to Binyamin. And who was this mother then? She was his stepmother. But look at the respect that Yusuf alayhi salam is showing her even. وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ. And he raised both of his parents, the mother and the father, even if the mother was stepmother. And he raised them both عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. Upon the throne. Which throne is this? Some say that it is the throne of the king. Because some think that Yusuf alayhi salam was made the king of Egypt. However, this is not true. He was a finance minister. So which arsh is this then? It was his own arsh. It was his own throne, his own seat, where he used to sit and conduct his work as a finance minister. Because he was also someone with great authority in the land of Egypt. And notice over here, he raises both of them to the throne. It's not that he comes down at their level. No, he raises them up to his level. Because أَنْتَ وَمَالُكَ لِأَبِيكَ. You and your wealth belong to your father. You and your property belong to who? Your father, your parents. So righteous children, they know that the high rank, the high position, the success that they enjoy today is because of their parents. It is because of their parents. And it happens sometimes that children, they're more successful compared to their parents. But those who are righteous, they don't forget that what they have achieved is a result of their parents' efforts, is a result of their parents' du'as, is a result of their parents' tarbiyah, their training, their efforts, what they did. This is why, even if they're more successful than their parents, they don't forget their parents. They respect them. They continue to respect them. And they want that same high position and authority for them. وَخَرُّوا. And all of them fell. Who does all of them refer to? the brothers, as well as the parents. All of them fell, lahu for him, meaning for Yusuf alayhi salam, sujjadan, in prostration. Sujjadan is a plural of sajid. Now what does it mean by this? That all of them fell in prostration before Yusuf alayhi salam. This prostration, remember, was not of ibadah. It was not of worship. They were not worshipping Yusuf alayhi salam. It wasn't that he was considered as someone divine, someone like a god, or someone worthy of worship. No. Just as when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the angels to prostrate to Adam alayhi salam, it wasn't that they were worshipping Adam alayhi salam. Then what kind of sajda was it? It was of ta'aleem, of honoring the other, and also of tahiyyah, of greeting. Because according to some, even when the angels prostrated to Adam, it was a form of greeting. It was a form of greeting. And at this point, this was a customary practice, that people would bow in front of one another in order to greet them, in order to show respect. Just as even today, this is a culture, this is a custom amongst many. Isn't it so? If a person goes and performs somewhere, when he goes onto the stage, when he's done, he will bow. When a person gets a degree, he will bow. This is a custom, it's a tradition. However, this is not permitted in our religion. It was permitted to the previous ummah, but it's not permitted anymore to our ummah. And it is said that this was permissible from the time of Adam alayhi salam all the way to the time of Isa alayhi salam. And it was later prohibited in the Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So you can shake hands with a person in order to greet them, in order to show honor to them, but you cannot bow down or prostrate to a person. So all of them bowed down in front of Yusuf alayhi salam to honor him. وَقَالَ, and he said, Ya abati, O my father, هَذَا تَأْوِيلُ رُؤْيَايَ, this is the interpretation of my dream. Look at how he addresses his father. The same way, Ya abati, O my dear father. Although he is an adult now, he's a man, he's a fully grown man. Look at his position. But he does not feel shy in calling his father with love. He does not feel shy in doing that. So similarly, if we have grown older, there's no harm in calling your parents with love. There's no harm in hugging your parents. Ya abati, hada ta'weelu ru'yaya. This is the interpretation of my dream. Min qablu, from before. The dream that I had a long time ago, many years ago, I had that dream. قَدْ جَعَلَهَا رَبِّي حَقًّا. In fact, my Lord has made it true. What has He made true? My dream. And what was the dream that Yusuf a.s. had? Remember in ayah number 4, that إِنِّي رَأَيْتُ أَحَدَ عَشَرَ كَوْكَبًا وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ رَأَيْتُهُمْ لِي سَاجِدِينَ. I saw 11 stars, and the sun and the moon, all of them prostrating to me. And this is exactly what was happening over here. The sun, the moon, meaning the father and the mother, Abawai, and the 11 stars, meaning the 11 brothers, all of them were prostrating. This is the interpretation of my dream that I had a long time ago, and my Lord has proved it true. My dream has come true. وَقَدْ أَحْسَنَ بِي. What does he mention? He's a muhsin, so he talks about the ihsan of Allah. That وَقَدْ أَحْسَنَ بِي, that Allah has been very good towards me. إِذْ when أَخْرَجَنِي مِنَ السِّجْنِ, He brought me out of the prison. What does he mention? The prison. But going to the prison or coming out of the prison? Coming out of the prison. Staying in the prison for bid'a sinin? No, he doesn't mention that. Does he mention about slavery? Does he mention anything about what happened before that? Nothing. The first thing he mentions is coming out of the prison. That Allah was very merciful towards me. He was very generous towards me, very good towards me when He took me out of the prison. And this was indeed a very big blessing. Because think about it. Who would have fought for his case? He could have stayed there in the prison for his entire life. Because remember, they decided that they would keep him in the prison for a heen. And what does heen mean? Unspecified period of time. He could have stayed in the prison for his entire life until he died, and nobody would come advocating for him. Because his family didn't know where he was. And nobody would come looking for him. Nobody would come fighting for his case. So the fact that he was taken out of the prison was indeed a very big blessing of Allah upon him. And he mentions this in particular because this was the turning point in his life. Up until now, he was going through many, many problems, one after the other. But once he came out of the prison, then what happened? What happened? He was positioned as the finance minister. وَقَدْ أَحْسَنَ بِي إِذْ أَخْرَجَنِي مِنَ السِّجْنِ وَجَاءَ بِكُم مِّنَ الْبَدْوِ. And he brought you all from the village, from the desert, مِن بَعْدِ, after, and that, نَزَغَ الشَّيْطَانُ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَ إِخْوَتِي. After shaitan had instilled discord between me and my brothers. But look at the favor of Allah, look at the mercy of Allah. He brought you out from the desert into Egypt, a very modern country at the time, a developed country at the time. And after shaitan had instilled such discord between me and my brothers. Again we see he does not blame his brothers. He does not do that. And he only mentions the blessings. What does he say? He brought you out of the Badu. Badu is from the root letters Bad al-Waw, from the word Bada yabdu, which is to expose, to reveal something. And Badwun means desert, village. Why? Because there are no tall buildings. There's nothing really to hide something. Everything is exposed. And people are also a very open nature. They don't have this concept of, this is my room, and this is my house, and this is my property. People are very open generally. So he has brought you out of there after shaitan induced. Nazagha is from the root letters Noon, Zaiga. And Nazagha is to enter into a matter, to enter into an affair, to create fasad, to create disorder. To interfere into someone's matters. Why? To create discord. Not to solve the problem, but to create fasad. To encourage evil. To create discord. To create enmity. To cause fights. So nazagha shaitanu. Shaitan instilled evil between me and between my brothers. What was this nazgh? It was the jealousy that he had inspired in the hearts of the brothers of Yusuf a.s. Inna Rabbi, indeed my Lord, He is latifun, He is subtle, He is kind, lima yasha, for whatever He wills. And innahu huwa al-alimul hakim, indeed He is the knowing and He is also the one who is wise. Notice the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He mentions over here. That my Lord is latif. And who is latif? One who is, first of all, very kind. Very kind. And secondly, latafa means to be very subtle, to do something in a way that it is not even perceived. To do something in such a way that it's not perceived. Nobody even senses it. So latif is a muhsin, meaning one who is very kind to the other, who very quietly and secretly shows ihsan without making the other even realize. All of this time, a huge favor was being bestowed upon the family of Yaqub a.s. But it was given in a very subtle way. Nobody could have imagined that the family of Yaqub a.s. was going to be elevated. They were going to go from Canaan, from that village, all the way to Egypt at such a high position. It could never have been imagined. It could never have been perceived, especially because of the problems that the family of Yaqub a.s. had been going through. So Allah is latif, that very quietly, very secretly, He shows ihsan, He does ihsan on us without even letting us know. We have no idea. We think that we are suffering. We think that we're going through such hard times, but in reality, Allah is bestowing such a huge favor upon us. And only He can realize this. Who? The person who is positive. The person who knows that Allah is Alim, that Allah is Hakim. That everything that happens, there is a reason behind that. Allah knows what I'm going through. Allah is latif. Inna Rabbi latifun. And I'm sure all of us can think about how in our lives Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been latif towards us. There have been certain times, certain occasions in which, our pathways, our ways in life have completely changed. They have completely taken a whole turn. And this is out of the mercy of Allah. And it's very subtle. Later on you realize, oh, so this is what was happening. This is why this happened. For example, sometimes people wonder, why did I get married to this guy? What was I thinking? Right? Sometimes people think about that. And then after years they realize, this is why. Similarly, a person wonders, why did I move here? Why did I move to this house? What was I thinking? But then later on he realizes, this is why. Why did this happen to me? Why did that happen to me? And you realize, this is why. So a person who knows Allah is Alim, Allah is Hakim, Allah is Latif, only He can accept this. Innahu huwal alimul hakim. Indeed, He is knowing and He is wise. He is knowing of His creation and He is wise in His actions. So we see over here the way Yusuf a.s. respects and he honors his parents. That he raises them to the throne. He raises them to the throne. And he says very good things to them. And this is a part of whose character? A muhsin. Because sometimes we are very good to people whom we work with. We are very good to people who are perhaps good to us. But our parents, sometimes we don't respect them. Maybe because of something that they said, maybe because of something that they did. We think is very unfair. But there is a reason why they did that. Maybe it was beyond their ability. So we see that Yusuf a.s. is very, very respectful towards his parents. And we see that when the brothers fall in prostration before him, there is no pride. There is no arrogance. There is no self-projection. There is no praise. All favors are attributed to who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't say, finally, now you get it? I am superior than you. No, he doesn't say anything like that. He says, Allah has been so merciful when He took me out of the prison. He has been so good. He has taught me. He has been so merciful towards us, despite the fact that shaitan created discord between me and my brothers. And again, he does not blame the brothers. Who does he say? The culprit? Shaitan. Yesterday there was a discussion about, in a story there's generally an antagonist, and it was thought that perhaps it was the wife of Aziz, or according to some, perhaps it was the brothers of Yusuf a.s., but we see that neither of them are. Then who is it really? It's shaitan. So shaitan instilled evil between me and my brothers. We'll listen to the recitation of these ayat and then we will learn about the dua that Yusuf a.s. made. We think that outer beauty is everything. And if a person is beautiful on the outward, then that is what's going to make him successful. But we see that Yusuf a.s., he had outer beauty, but that became a very big test for him. Isn't it so? Then what was it that really made him successful? It was his inner beauty. It was his character. The way that he dealt with people. The way that he wanted everybody to win, as he was winning in every situation.